If you've never made fish roll before, then this is your sign to make one. So in my manual blender, I added some of my flour. All the measurements will be in the description box, so just check it out. I added some baking powder and some margarine. You can use butter. And then I went in with some cold water. Then I started blending this, or if you're not using a manual blender, you can just mix with your hand. Then I transferred into a bigger bowl when it was, combined, and then I went into kneading. Now, one of the things you want to know with kneading your dough is that you don't want to overmix. You just want to make sure that everything comes together. And once that happens, that's enough. You're done. You're not mixing it like you're making fondant or anything. So this is the consistency we're going for. Next, I'm going to get my cling film, and I'm going to cling film this and let it rest in my fridge. Not your deep freezer, please. Your refrigerator is just fine. So while that is resting, we're going to get into making the filling, which is like one of the most important recipe for having the best pies. In the pan, I'm going to go in with some. Now I'm using Titus, so I'm going to be using the oil from the fish to make this. You can use your normal fish if you want to, but you have to boil it first before you start up this process. So I'm going to go in with some onions and some roughly chopped peppers. I'm going to fry that for a bit before I go in with my carrots. Now I'll be using very small vegetables, sorry for this. And I'm going in with my carrot and then my bell peppers. Then I'm going in with my spices and my salt for this. I didn't use seasoning cube for this. Just my salt and my spices is enough to bring out the taste that I need. Now don't forget I'm using Titus fish, and it's already being spiced, it's sweet and all of that. So I'm going to mash that, and then I'm going to add it into it, and then I mix. Now, if I tell you guys that we're thoroughly done with this process, now you think I'm lying, but just wait. There's one more thing to do. Next, you're going to make a slurry. This contains some corn flour and some water. You're just going to mix this in a little bowl, and then transfer into your mixture and then mix. This is to help all of your fried fish and all the veggies to come together, as you can see. Now, once you've made that, you've let that heat up for 2 minutes, you're going to take that out. We're going to get our dough back from the fridge, and then we're going to start rolling. Don't forget to spray your surface with some flour to avoid it from sticking. Now, I'm using a bottle. You can use a rolling pin if you want, and you want to cut that to be wide enough. Then you're going to start cutting the edges to form a square or a rectangle, anyone. So as I'm cutting, I'm rolling, to give me a perfect shape. Once I get that, I'm going to start applying my filling to one side of the rolled sheet. Now, don't overdo this. You want to make sure your filling is thoroughly coated in all parts, but it's not too much so that it doesn't spill over. And once I feel I've had enough, I'm going to take that slurry I made earlier, and I'm going to rub it on the other edge of the dough. This is to serve as a glue for my pie. Then I'm going to pick up that edge and I'm going to start rolling it while I'm giving priorities to the edges because I don't want it to pour. I'm going to roll this and then continue to flatten it with the surface and then seal up any extra openings because, like I said, you don't want this to spill over. While you've had this in perfect shape, you're going to get your knife and you're going to go ahead and cut. Now you can do this as long or as short as you want. This shape was just perfect for me and I love it. So once you've done that, your pies are set and they are ready. Next up, you're going to get a cling film or a kitchen paper and you're going to top that up because we're going to be baking it. But before we do that, we're going to make incisions on our pies. This is to give it space to rise and to be able to cook evenly and to be able to cook into the dough and into the filling, and also give it space to rise so it doesn't puff up. And finally, for final touch, I'm going to go in with some egg wash for that golden brown texture. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to pop this into my preheated oven and bake for 25 to 30 minutes. And guys, this is what we have. This yummy golden brown fish rolls that are so lovely and so easy to make. I'm sure you're going to want to try this, I'm sure, right? So don't forget to tag me in your videos and don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and come back because there are more recipes like this coming for you. Take care.